So there's a voice in your head, that voice that whispers to you daily. It replays all your failures, makes you question your abilities, and makes you believe that you'll stay stuck where you are. Sometimes that whisper turns loud, and some days the self-doubt creeps in so strong that it makes you question your every decision. But that voice is lying to you. Here's the truth. You are not alone. Every single person that you admire, every single person who's ever achieved anything great, they've all been there. If you've ever taken time to read memoirs, watch interviews, or attend just about any seminar, you'll notice a pattern, a resounding message. The message that self-doubt isn't a phenomenon unique to just a few, but in fact, it's a common feeling. But it's just that, a feeling. Just because that voice of doubt creeps in doesn't mean you have to listen to it. Everyone who's ever overcome self-doubt has found courage within themselves. Why? Because courage isn't the absence of doubt, but rather the decision to move forward in spite of it. So don't let that voice decide your future. You are stronger than you think you are, smarter than you think you are, and you are way more valuable than you can ever imagine. The world may try to convince you otherwise, but just know that your worth is inherent and it's not up for debate. So wherever you are in your journey, keep going, because every step forward is proof that you didn't let self-doubt win. Maybe you didn't realize this, but you are so powerful. Every time you failed but tried again, every time you spoke up for yourself, every time you refused to quit on your dreams, even when things looked grim. That's power. And even if that voice of doubt tries to creep its way back in, find comfort in knowing you don't always have to feel confident to start. Just start where you are. Do what you can, and believe that you were made to live a life that is abundant and full of joy, not a life riddled with fear and doubts. Believe it. Not just because it sounds good, but because it's true. And in all that you do, remember, you don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You just need to keep showing up. Your future self is already proud of the steps you're taking today. So keep pushing forward. You got this. So you want your life to change, but you're waiting. Waiting for the moment when you feel confident enough to put yourself out there. Waiting for the moment to feel like you have enough credentials. Waiting for someone else to see your worth. But here's the harsh truth. No one's coming to save you. Not the perfect mentor, not the right timing, and there's not some miracle moment where everything just clicks. No one is going to hand you the life you want. It's up to you to believe in yourself enough to make it happen. And sure, you can wait around. You can blame other people. You can hope someone else figures it all out for you. But the door doesn't open until you turn the knob yourself. And just know you have what it takes to accomplish all of your dreams. Not because it's easy, but because you're capable. And deep down, you already know what needs to be done. So get up, get started, and get moving. Not because someone else told you to, but because you're done living your life on pause. It's not about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's about deciding that if no one's coming to save you, you're going to save yourself. Because once you realize that, you'll stop waiting and you'll start building. You are the hero you've been waiting for. There was a moment in time when you felt like everything was falling apart. Not just on the outside, but inside. You were stuck, confused, tired of pretending you were okay. And then it hit you. You started to question everything. We've all been there. Maybe you lost things you thought you'd never lose. People, opportunities, pieces of yourself you didn't even know you were still holding on to. And for a while, you stayed down, silent, paralyzed. Maybe you felt like you hit rock bottom. But here's what no one tells you about hitting rock bottom. When you're there, there's nowhere left to go but up. That rock bottom became the foundation on which you built yourself back up again, piece by piece, brick by brick. And you didn't just build yourself back up the same. No, you built yourself back up taller, stronger, and better than you'd ever been before. But you didn't do it overnight. And there was no magical moment where everything suddenly started feeling okay. It was gradual. You made slight improvements day after day, until one day, you looked back and realized just how far you've come. But before that process could have began, you had to make a choice. The choice that you were going to stop feeling sorry for yourself. The choice that you would pick up the pieces and put yourself back together, no matter how long it took. You started doing hard things, not because you felt powerful, but because you were tired of feeling powerless. And slowly but surely, you bounced back. You did that. So if you ever find yourself feeling like you have no more will to fight, just remember how far you've already come and how resilient you are. If you're listening to this right now, there's a 100% chance that you've survived and overcome everything that was thrown your way in life. And you've come too far to quit now. You don't need perfect circumstances. You just need the will to keep going, the drive to succeed, and the discipline to keep taking action every single day, no matter how small. Even if it's messy, especially if it's difficult. Because your next comeback starts the moment you stop giving up. You got this. There's always going to be those days in life when you feel like the weight is just too much. Those days when feelings of doubt whisper louder than feelings of hope. And those days when, despite all your efforts, you feel weak and unmotivated. But that quiet voice inside of you, the one that keeps whispering, keep going anyway, that voice is your strength. You've made it through hard things before. You've faced and conquered battles no one even knows about. And in spite of it all, you're still here. Every scar is proof that you're a survivor. Yeah, you may have struggled, but you didn't give up. Yeah, you may have bent, but you didn't break. Yes, you may have stumbled, but each and every single time you rose again. You see, strength isn't always loud, and it isn't always seen. Sometimes strength is just making the silent decision to show up anyway, even when things are hard. Sometimes strength is the decision to try again after countless failures. Sometimes it's the decision to believe in yourself again after years of doubting your worth. Sometimes it's the decision to let those tears fall that you've been holding back for far too long. And sure, you may not feel strong every day, but just know that strength is within you. It always has been. Not just in your body, but also in your heart, in your resilience, in your willingness to keep showing up day after day, even when it feels like nothing makes sense. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed lately, just stop for a moment. Take a deep breath and stand a little taller, knowing that you are stronger than you think you are. And you will make it through. If you've been struggling to find the motivation to go after your dreams, ask yourself this question: what's holding me back? Now, before you answer, think of yourself, not the outside noise, but deep down, inside you. What's stopping you from moving forward? Is it doubt? Fear? Comparison? Is it the fear of failing? Or maybe the worry that you're not enough? Maybe it's that voice in your head that whispers you can't. Maybe you've got ideas ingrained in you since you were young. Maybe when you shared your dreams, you were told to be more realistic, or don't dream too big, or better to play it safe. But here's the truth. We weren't born with limits. They were given to us. Passed down. Repeated. Believed. But consider this. A belief is just a thought that you've repeated long enough to yourself that makes it feel real. But I'm here to tell you, just like beliefs were learned, they can be unlearned too. You are not your fear. You are not your past. You are not the opinions of others. You are potential, and potential becomes power the moment you decide to act. Limiting beliefs only live as long as you let them. But I implore you to challenge them, question them, and if need be, replace them. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take the first step. And I get it. Growth is uncomfortable, but so is staying stuck. So if you're gonna feel discomfort anyway, why not choose the kind that leads somewhere? That leads to a better life. That leads to a better you. So with that in mind, ask yourself again, what's holding you back? But this time, whatever that is, let it go. Because everything you want begins to come to you when you take the limits off of your belief. In a world full of challenges, uncertainty, and negativity, it's easy to get in a funk and stay there. It's so easy to be negative, which is why, in order to become the happiest version of yourself, you have to become more intentional. Intentional on what you let into your heart. Intentional on what you let into your mind. Intentional on who you surround yourself with. And intentional on what beliefs you allow to take root. The best way to set yourself up for success is to develop an attitude of positive thinking. To speak life into yourself and into others, despite your circumstances. Positive thinking isn't just about smiling through the pain. It's about fundamentally reshaping your mind, redirecting your focus, and reclaiming your life. Positive thinking isn't just wishful thinking or delusion. And it's not just pretending that everything is perfect if it's not. But rather, it's the belief that you have the power to influence your outcomes. It's the decision to focus on solutions, to seek light even in darkness, and to continue to rise up time and time again, despite your circumstances. Studies have shown that people who practice positive thinking have lower levels of stress, better health, stronger relationships, and even live longer lives. Why? Because the way you think shapes how you live. When you choose positive thinking, you regain control. Not over the world, but over how you react to it. When you make the intentional decision to think positive, something transformative happens. You stop letting fear run your life. You stop letting failure define your future. You learn to see obstacles as opportunities. You learn to see setbacks as setups for something greater. And you learn to see every no as getting you one step closer to that next yes. You finally start to believe that you're capable. And that one belief changes everything. You see, your mind is a garden, and your thoughts are seeds. And you can choose to plant flowers, or you can choose to plant weeds. But the choice is yours. And no matter what you choose to plant, never forget, it will grow. So plant dreams instead of doubts. Plant ambitions instead of limits. Plant confidence instead of insecurity. And don't forget to surround yourself with as much positivity as possible. Whether that's friends or family that uplift you, an inspirational quote on your wall, or listening to something like this positive each and every single day. Because it truly makes all the difference.